Back to Supremely Black Podcast. This is your host, D Rose. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe. If you are watching it, make sure that you hit the like button. I appreciate that. That shows me that you actually value the content and like the content that we're speaking about today. So let's talk about it, man. Over the weekend, we seen pretty much Colorado got destroyed by Nebraska. Hey, we talk a little sports over here, so just follow me, man. I've always said that I thought, honestly, that Deion should have stayed in Jackson State. I felt that his impact was bigger at an HBCU than it could be with taking over one of the worst programs in FBS. Now, don't get me wrong, I think it was a great opportunity, but what has come now, I'm not saying that this season is going to be a failure, but you can just start to see that the tides have changed. I think from my perspective is that the hype train is over. It has to be about results. Now, them losing to Nebraska, I don't think it's just the nail in the coffin, for lack of better words, right? But I do think it's about to get real. And what triggered it for me was that when he got into it with the CBS reporter and they had back and forth, he said he wouldn't speak to him. A lot of the other media people felt like Deion was actually bullying the media, and if you had anything to say about him that was of critique, that he wouldn't speak to you. And I have to be honest with you, that is how it came across. Love Deion, I love what he has brought to the college game. Him and amongst some other successful coaches as well. It's a good thing to see college football actually being something to talk about. I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched it much over the last few years, but as of late, definitely tuned in more and got back in tune with it. But I think that this is going to be the deciding factors because in every little group of people you have, so, podcasters, no podcasters, sports analysts, no sports analysts, you get what I'm saying, reporters, no reporters. I think now the floodgate's going to open. And so it's almost to the point of they have zero room for error. Now, I don't think Colorado as a program has Deion on the hot seat as much as the media will. And the reason why I said it is because Colorado would actually be a fool to have him on the hot seat because of the revenue he's bringing in. And at the end of the day, everything is a bottom line business. They're going to want to know of what they're bringing in. Yet a program could win 5 or 6 games, get to a bowl game, honestly, they're going to consider that a great year. That's how bad the program was. So that's really back to my point is that I felt that him being at Jackson State had some culture. They weren't a bottom of the barrel HBCU school. They weren't. Now it's been a while since they've been to the heyday, but he still never even won there. But I think from how I look at it is just how it's going to turn out because if they don't win and if they aren't really in the mix to be in the playoff hunt, honestly, the media's going to be like, okay, this is a terrible season. And lo and behold, if they do not qualify for a bowl game and if they're under 500, the floodgates are going to open. And you're starting to see it now. People have shifted their take on it, in which by all due respect, it is legit. You have to show what's going on. You can't put out the same team that you had last year, but you spent the entire summer talking about how it was fixed. Now, from following them, North Dakota State exposed that they couldn't stop the run. You have an FCS school that runs for 200 yards on you. Rushed the quarterback, but I think they only sacked him once or something like that. But Nebraska pretty much showed you it's going to be a real deal if you can't win in them trenches. So for us to hear this 2 years in a row of what's going on, eventually they're going to start pointing to coaching. And when they start pointing to coaching, I think that's where it's going to be the issue is that everybody is not going to be in support or going to take it as that they're disrespecting Prime. And I've seen a lot of people that have, the Prime channels, that's what I call them. And it's like, people are taking shots. No, they ain't, bro. Somebody has to literally keep it real. It does not look good what they put on film these last 2 games. And it's not taking a jab at Deion just because the team isn't performing. It's just keeping it real. Like, at some point, we just have to say, regardless if you like Deion as a person, but when it comes to coaching, what is he putting out there on the field? What did he recruit? Like, my homeboys was talking about, it's like, I think with them not looking as strong as they should, and with the attention that they get, you're going to warrant some hate. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, there is some ignorant people that's coming with, oh man, that ain't this, and you can definitely tell it's coming from a jealousy perspective. But for the people that are truthfully just breaking down the game and just keeping it real, it don't look good. And I support and like what they've done in Boulder. From an attention perspective, what they put on the field. Last year, they had the entire nation going for Colorado. You don't see that this year, and I think with the situation that happened before the season, you're going to see more of that. And back to my point is why I wish he would have stayed in the HBCUs. Like, you bring in your Tyler, you bring in Travis Hunter, you bring in Jordan Seaton, you bring in 5-star recruits to HBCU. I think, to me, that would have meant more. And I'm saying this proactively because if the season doesn't go how it's supposed to go, you can go back and watch some of my old videos when I was covering him, Eddie George, some of the Ed Reed situation before he was basically removed and never got the job, however. But I like to see us put in positions to win, but then I also like to see when we understand the value that we have within ourselves, and that you don't need any set system or any of their validation, because honestly speaking, that's what comes with it. And it's not from a race perspective, not making this about that, because as a black man, keeping it real, what they put out on the field, it doesn't look good. And the conference that they're in isn't going to be a walk in the park. They have, like, I think 4 or 5 ranked opponents left on the schedule. So 10 games left still. So just keeping it real. Somebody has to just be honest. It's not hate. Everybody ain't hate. Everything isn't race. But you can see the ignorance. And I hope that I'm wrong in regards to what I'm saying. But they have it queued up. And you know exactly what I mean. In waiting on his downfall. Because like I said, they're probably one of the most watched programs in the nation. And I don't think that's from support. I think that is from people that are literally looking to break down every little single thing, from when, okay, Deion was chewing gum and he was supposed to be talking to this player about this. Oh, my God, he walked out on the field. You know, every little bitty thing. It's like people love to see you fail. So that's where the support comes from. The same as the support comes from just the same way as the hate comes. But like me and my partner was talking about, is the moment that people realize that talking about Colorado has no longer does them justice because the hype train is not attached to it. So quote unquote ratings, money is going to start to really get into what everybody else sees on the field. And I want to know of how will, the team respond to that, and 2, how would Deion respond to it? Because eventually, if we just keeping it real, even the local reporters are even going to be a little bit more agitated, because this was supposed to be the year about results. And if you haven't brought any results, we have to ask you about it. And you cannot continue to control the narrative if you have a ball club that is well under 500. We don't look like we're going to hit a bowl game, and we for sure did not live up to the expectations that we were promised based off of preseason hype. Because, I mean, they weren't a ranked team, but what I want people to do is that when you speak about it, talk about it, remove your emotion from it. Just look to see what's being put on the field. Game number 2, the second time that they played together, understood. They probably won't see another team that looks like Nebraska, true enough. But let's just be honest. If that continues, their schedule only gets harder. Nebraska is not some Oregon of last year. They're not even USC from last year. So if you think that the road's going to get easier, just stay tuned. But for the people that cover and look at and watch the sports, you know what I'm saying? Quit making everything race and racial. Bruh, it's just simple as this. If you look at the game, Colorado still can't get off the field on defense. They still can't protect Shedeur. And it seems, if you're watching the game, is that Shedeur holds on to the ball too long. And I don't know if that is an attempt to pass stats, looking for a play to develop. But to be honest with you, this isn't going to be a good turnout if those three things continue to happen the rest of the season. Because honestly, at this point, the only thing he can do is hurt his draft stock more than anything, because you're going to look at the decision making, you're going to look at everything else that comes with the game. And just to be real, that people ain't hating. This is what they see. The same issues that the football team happened last year. And, even with, who was it, another thing that I seen? Shannon Sharp had spoke about just how they looked, him and Ocho Cinco on their, I forgot their show, but dope show. But they were talking about how Colorado looked and how people saying, "Oh, look how you critique the black man." Sports is sports, man. I don't care if you're black, white, Puerto Rican, or Asian. Sports is sports. And if people keep it real, I think that's where we've gotten away from, because you can make it about, well, Deion's black. Well, that's something personally that you feel towards him. If you say that the offensive line couldn't block, that's the facts. It has nothing to do with Deion being a black coach. If you're saying Shedeur's holding the ball too long, that has nothing to do with him being a black quarterback. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's terrible. Like, Pat Shermer called a terrible game. It's not because he's a white offensive coordinator. It's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't understand why we so everything is about race. I mean, you know the ignorance. You can tell the people that are being blatantly racist in regards to not liking somebody because they're envious. Some people just don't like it because they feel like they're cocky. Some people feel like they're too confident. Same with Deion. You feel what I'm saying? But what I would challenge my people that's really one of one. When we out here covering it, bro, remove your feelings from it and just tell the truth on what you're seeing out there. You don't have to cape for nothing, nobody, nothing. I'm not personally attacking anyone. This is just what you see, and that's what gets respected, being authentic. When you come across as somebody that can't just keep it real, you either done drunk the Kool-Aid or you know for a fact what you doing. Glazing it all-time high. Love what Deion doing. Got his shades, think all is dope. But until we actually see something different on the football field, it's going to get worse when the reporters come with it, man. Like, the latest thing is that he has told the team, the school band, right, which is probably gossip. It's probably gossip because, like I said, when you lose, you give people opportunity to say or state what they want to say. They haven't learned the fight song. They say the team hasn't learned the fight song, and the band can't play their fight song or whatever once Shedeur scores. You can only play his song, perfect timing. Now, do I know that to be true? I have no idea. But this is the Monday after them losing Saturday. It wasn't no fight song going on. They only scored one time last week, and that was towards the end. So, I mean, rival game, you score in the fourth quarter, nobody really cares, to be honest with you. You got your ass whooped. But I just want to know what people truthfully think, man, and just let me know. Like, am I wrong in regards to how I feel about it? But do I feel like he should have stayed at HBCU? Because if this was going to be the approach, it's only going to get worse. I mean, you just let me know. But that's all I'm saying, man. I just feel like the impact would have been far better and greater being at the HBCU. And if they aren't able to produce at the rate that they have said that they were, we're going to see some real stuff come out. And I want to see how they respond. So let me know what you think. As always, long little CC. I'm out.